Hello everyone, and welcome back. So I've been hard at work, getting stuff working, new stuff added. And let's see, what have I got now? Well, since the last video, I've added scepters, which are the other kind of weapon I mentioned before, which they don't do very good melee damage, but their magic damage, which is the second DMG2 in the tooltip, is very high, so special weapon abilities will do a lot of damage with scepters. With katanas, they don't do as much, and regular swords I think are even lower. But for the regular swords and katanas, currently I've got them doing just sort of a normal attack, and actually, before I do anything, this could mess up my demonstration if I'm not careful. And let me explain the way it works. So you'll notice I got something up here in the upper left, and that's not going to be there permanently. That's just telling me how much chaos is on my player, and that's being used for the weapon skills. It has to be on your player for it to be usable. Now you can store more than that in chaos orbs, for instance. I've got this fragile chaos orb here, and there are a few different tiers of that. There's actually, let me do this because one of them's not called an orb. So there are three orbs. There's the fragile, refined, and perfect, which is what I've got now. I don't know, there may be more in the end. And then there's also the chaos potato, which doesn't store much, but it does have one little benefit. For one, it's pretty cheap. And second of all, these all have, aside from the perfect one, a chance of breaking whenever you're draining chaos from them. So the fragile one's got a pretty high chance, a maximum of 20%, and the lower the charge is, the higher the break chance. If it's above 50%, you're okay. Below that, and you start running the risk of the orb breaking, and the potato has a very small chance of breaking. But it's mainly the fragile one that you'd have to worry about. The refined one's maximum 5%, and like I said, perfect is 0%. It also stores the most. Alright, so my fragile chaos orb here is a little bit on the low side, so if I were to use it, it would possibly break. So I'm going to go over here and refill it a little bit. And currently I've got the chaos node to send out a burst every second. It's probably going to be like every 10 seconds in the final version. Okay, so we are above 50% for now. So whenever I use a weapon skill, like say the katana's regular shot, which is just like the chaos sword worked before, more or less, it's going to drain a little bit from my player, which you can see the values up there. And then after the recharge cooldown goes away, it'll start pulling from the orb. So it's a fairly short cooldown, but it seems reasonable enough. Okay, so the swords use 1,000, and my frame rate just dropped for no apparent reason. Surely I'm not low on hard drive space. Let me actually spawn a few more creepers here. Seems like a lot of them have wandered off. I have no idea why my frame rate dropped. Okay, so the scepter I've currently got set to be a sort of homing shot, and I guess showing is better than telling. Let's go ahead and fire that. I love that. I don't think I could ever get tired of that. So that uses 5,000 chaos, so this thing's back in the danger zone of breaking, and the lower it gets, the higher the chance will become. But let's go ahead and fire a couple more shots. So the way these are programmed is kind of interesting. They sort of randomize their targets, but they're more likely to pick a closer one. And they go up into the air a little ways before they start homing in on their target. Alright, so this thing is, I assume, going to break soon. Okay, it's kind of unfortunate some of them will pick the same target and it won't work. But if they're without a target, they will occasionally find a new one. I think I got it set for them to recheck for targets every 10 seconds. Okay, is this orb just not... Oh, there we go. It shattered into 89,048 pieces. What an oddly specific number. So yes, I'm basically just generating a random number and sticking it in there just for fun. So my orb has shattered, and I don't have enough left on my player to cast anything, so I would have to go make a new orb, or in this case I can just grab another one from here. And of course if I had a better one like this, it would last me a lot longer and not break as easily. And why did that just get duplicated? I've seen that before. I don't know what it's doing. It duplicates them sometimes when I put them into my offhand slot. I don't know. They don't need to be in the offhand slot to work. It's just kind of convenient for testing because I can see the bobbing as they update. Yes, that is too much fun. So again, values may get tweaked. I'm not sure. I think it's reasonable enough that... I mean, the ideal of the player storage is so that you can't just spam the attack over and over again. It's going to be limited how many you can do in a row before you have to wait for it to recharge. As you can see, the scepter is pretty powerful as it is. Now, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do exactly. I have an idea for an upgrade system that'll let you change the projectiles, and I've got some pretty interesting ideals. Possibly stuff that's even better than homing shots, although homing shots are pretty good, I've got to say. Okay, aside from them all trying to hit the same creeper at the same time and not really doing very good. Let me see if killing items... That did not fix the frame rate, but okay, I'm glad I killed the items. And the way I've currently got it set for using this ability is basically just swinging the weapon while you're sneaking. So the sneaking requirement makes it so that you don't accidentally fire when you right-click on stuff, for instance. So if I don't know if, yeah, right-clicking a pig doesn't do anything, but if I were to go over here and right-click on this crafting table, for instance, that counts as swinging. So the sneaking requirement is good in that case. Let's see, if I sneak right-click, okay, that doesn't do anything, so that's good. Or, yeah, that's right. Have to sneak and left-click. Huh. It's like they were homing in on the wrong position. I don't know, they're a little funny sometimes, but they work mostly. Let me see. Let's try firing them from here. See what they do. Okay, yeah, it took them a while to find the squid because the squid was out of range. There was another one over there, but I guess it despawned. I kind of like seeing them just following a normal arc at first, and then they find a target. Oh, I didn't even see that creeper there. That was kind of weird. I'm not sure what they were doing. Yes, just raining death down on your foes. Very fun. And this will allegedly check the team. So if you're on a server and you're on the same team as someone else, it should not home in on them. But I'm not sure. Be careful about that. I may add a config to make it so that shots cannot be set to home in on players. That'd probably be a good ideal. Alright, last thing I've got to say is currently planning to release an alpha build on Friday. Now keep in mind, this is a total rewrite of the mod. It's not designed to be compatible with previous versions, so if you load up a world that you've been playing 1.8.9 Silence Gems 1.3 on, you're probably going to lose a lot of your stuff. I mean, that's intentional. This was kind of the first mod I ever made. It was poorly designed. I wanted to redo it better, so I ended up cutting compatibility. I know I'm still going to get people coming to me and saying, "You broke my world, what's wrong with you?" But I'm putting that warning out now. You're going to lose stuff if you try to upgrade. And also, like I mentioned, it's an alpha. I haven't gotten around to adding everything back in yet. So there's going to be stuff that's missing that will be in later. Like the enchantment tokens may not make it in by Friday, but they're not going away. They're going to come back. I mean, that's one of the big things in the mod that people really like. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.